This man is named Sukan. He was once the court's fiercest general, renowned for his military exploits. He was supposed to succeed to the post of Governor General of Hubei, rising to the highest rank. But by his side was also his sworn elder brother, Yuan Lai, who had grown up with him. Yuan Lai was his father's adopted son. His martial arts skills were evenly matched with Sukan's. Sukan saw the jealousy and resentment in Yuan Lai's eyes. For the sake of brotherhood, and for the peaceful life he had long yearned for, he willingly gave up the high post. He recommended Yuan Lai to the bail. As for himself, he chose to lay down his arms and return home, enjoying a happy family life with his wife Yuaning and their son. He thought it was a selfless act and a perfect ending. But he never realized that what this concession planted in Yuan Lai's heart was not gratitude, but even deeper hatred. 5 years later, on Sukan's father's 60th birthday, Yuan Lai, now the Governor General, returned home in glory to offer his birthday wishes. The Su family held a grand banquet as the two brothers met again. The festive mood froze in an instant. Without warning, Yuan Lai struck, his vicious claw attack hitting Father Su's vital point. Father Su spat out blood and died on the spot. Only then was the truth revealed. Back then, Yuan Lai's father had gone mad while practicing an evil art, and Father Su killed him to rid the people of a menace. Out of guilt, Father Su took in Yuan Lai and his younger sister. That is, Yuan Lai and Yuaning, who later became Sukan's wife. Yuan Lai had lain low for years, not only for revenge, but also to take back everything he believed should have been his, including his sister and his nephew. He meant to rebuild his own family upon the ruin of the Su household. When he learned of his father's brutal death, Sukan grabbed his blade and charged at Yuan Lai. He would use this traitor's blood to honor his father's spirit. His blade flashed with lethal force, every strike aimed to kill. But after several slashes, Yuan Lai's clothes were shredded while his body remained completely unharmed. He tore open his robe, revealing a bizarre suit of armor. It was black gold soft armor, embedded inch by inch into his skin, long fused with his flesh, impervious to blades and spears. Sukan cast aside his blade and fought with his fists. His fists were harder than steel, and the two traded blows at close quarters. With his superb martial skill, Sukan briefly gained the upper hand and sent Yuan Lai flying with a kick. But Yuan Lai did not back down. He began channeling his inner power, and his palm instantly turned pitch black. Poison coursed through his meridians and spread through his whole body. This was the 5 poisons dark art, the forbidden technique his father had once practiced. Sukan recognized the technique at once. He started dodging carefully, not daring to make the slightest contact. But even the most careful defense can fail. In the end, Yuan Lai caught an opening and raked his right arm with a claw. The deadly poison seeped in at once. Sukan felt his strength ebb away like the receding tide. His entire right arm went numb, and he crashed heavily to the ground. Just as Yuan Lai was about to strike the killing blow, Sukan's wife, Yuaning, rushed out. She dropped to her knees and begged her brother to spare her husband. Looking at his sister's desperate face, Yuan Lai chose an even crueler way in the end. He grabbed the helpless Sukan and tossed him into the raging river as if throwing away trash. Heartbroken, Yuaning leaped in without hesitation and followed after him. The river was bitterly cold. Fortunately, the two were caught by a wooden stake and washed toward the shore. With the last of her strength, Yuaning dragged the unconscious Sukan ashore. She fashioned a makeshift stretcher to take him up the mountain in search of a healer. But a frail woman soon ran out of strength. Just as Sukan was about to slip down the slope, a miracle doctor, Sister Yu, happened to be passing by while gathering herbs and saved them. Under Sister Yu's care, Sukan survived. But the right arm that had made his name was ravaged by poison, leaving his martial arts crippled. The once invincible warrior was reduced to a wreck who could not even steady a wine jar. He spent his days drowning his sorrows in drink, broken in spirit. Watching her husband sink like this, Yuaning was heartbroken. At last, she could no longer keep it from him. Their son, Xiaofeng, was still being held hostage by Yuan Lai. Those words struck like lightning, cutting through the haze in Sukan's mind. He thought of his son, and of the enemy who had once ground him into the dirt. The fire of vengeance and his desperate need to save his son blazed up in him once more. He stopped drinking. Instead, he threw himself into a brutal, punishing regimen. With his right arm ruined, he trained his left. Using homemade equipment, he pushed himself past his limits again and again.